The sun hung high and golden on that first July afternoon when I rolled into Willow Creek Haven, a quiet suburban enclave nestled along the banks of the serene Willow River. I'd heard whispers of its charmed tree-lined streets, peaceful water VYUs, and a riverfront path that promised both solitude and adventure. As a professional kayaker, a silver medalist from the last Olympics, I'd spent years chasing the perfect blend of training grounds and a home where I could escape the chaos of city life. My name's Ethan Carver, and after a decade of bouncing between competitions, grueling training camps, and speaking gigs, I craved a sanctuary. Willow Creek Haven seemed like the answer. The moment I turned onto Maple Lane, I felt quiet magic. Towering willows swayed gently in the breeze, their leaves brushing against well-kept lawns and cozy homes that radiated timeless suburban appeal. I'd grown weary of honking horns and concrete jungles, and this place offered the stillness I'd been chasing. I'd bought a snug two-story cottage at the edge of cul-de-sac, cedar-shingled beauty with a wide porch, a backyard bursting with wildflowers, and best of all, a 10-minute stroll to the neighborhood's prized river access. The real estate agent had beamed as she described it. A community-maintained trail winding down to a pebbled shore where residents could kayak, fish, or simply soak in the tranquility. "It's the heart of Willow Creek," she'd said. I couldn't wait to launch my sleek red kayak at dawn, cutting through the water as the world woke up around me. That first day, unloading boxes from my truck, I breathed in the crisp, earthy scent of the willows and thought, saw this as it. This is home. Saw. But beneath the surface of this idyllic retreat, trouble was stirring trouble I wouldn't see coming until it landed squarely in my lap. It started innocently enough, 2 days after I'd settled in. I was out front, stretching my legs after a long run, when a polished black SUV rolled up and parked beside my mailbox. Out stepped a woman in her late 50s, her ash-blonde hair cropped into a severe bob, her navy blazer and skirt pressed to perfection. She carried a leather binder and an air of unyielding authority. "Good morning," she said, her voice clipped and cool. "I'm Evelyn Pierce, VYCE president of the Willow Creek Haven Homeowners Association. I assume you're the new resident." I flashed a grin, wiping sweat from my brow. "Ethan Carver. Just moved in. Nice to meet you, MS. Pierce." She gave a tight nod, her hazel eyes sizing me up. "We run a tight ship here, Mr. Carver. I wanted to ensure you received our covenants and guidelines." She handed me a crisp packet of papers. "We take pride in maintaining order and property values." "Appreciate it," I said, skimming the cover page. "I'm looking forward to settling in, especially enjoying that river access." Heard it's a gem. Her lips twitched, a flicker of something hard crossing her face. "Yes, the river. We're currently reassessing its usage. There's been excessive active VY, lately litter, noise, safety concerns. The board's considering restrictions to preserve the community's integrity." I blinked, caught off guard. "Restrictions?" "My agent said it's open to all residents." "Things evolve," she replied smoothly. "We've had reports of outsiders sneaking in, causing disturbances. We're exploring permits, usage fees, perhaps limited hours. It's all for the greater good." She handed me a second sheet of draft of proposed rules. A DULA 15 fee per watercraft launch, access restricted to noon to 5 p.m., and a mandatory sign-in process. It felt absurd, but I kept my tone even. "Thanks for the heads up," I said. "I'll keep an eye out for any updates." She studied me for a moment, her gaze lingering on the faded Olympic rings tattooed on my forearm, a memento from my competitive days. Then, without another word, she turned on her heel, climbed into her SUV, and drove off. I stood there, unease prickling my spine. Something about Evelyn Pierce felt off, like a storm cloud masquerading as a sunny day. For the next few weeks, I ignored the warning signs and threw myself into life at Willow Creek. I met warm neighbors, an older couple, the Hendersons, who dropped off a loaf of homemade bread, a single mom, Lisa, whose twin boys cheered every time I practiced paddle strokes in my driveway, a bookish retiree named Tom, who invited me to join the local hiking group. Each morning, I'd rise before dawn, jog to the river Excessa shaded trail flanked by ferns and launch my kayak into the glassy Willow River. The water was a mirror, reflecting the pastel sky as I glided silently downstream. Neighbors would wave from the shore, some fishing, others sipping coffee on the rocks. It was a shared ritual, a slice of peace that felt sacred. I'd even started VYing my kayak on a small rack I'd built near the water, a setup the pre-VYS HOA board had greenlit without fuss. But Evelyn's shadow loomed. I'd spot her SUV idling near the trailhead, her silhouette watching like a hawk. Rumors began to swirl through the neighborhoods, online forum whispers of new river passes, potential fee hikes, and Evelyn's growing influence since her election 6 months prior. People called her the warden behind her back, a nod to her iron-fisted style. I brushed it off at first, figuring she'd tire of monitoring one lone kayaker. I was wrong. The tipping point came on a crisp Saturday in late August. I'd invited a dozen neighbors over for a barbecue-grilled chicken, cold lemonade, lawn chairs scattered across my backyard. It was a chance to build roots in a place I hoped to call home for years. The air buzzed with laughter and chatter until Lisa pulled me aside, her brow furrowed. "Ethan, you hear about Evelyn's latest push? She's got a proposal to lock down the river daily fees, strict hours, the works." I paused, a spatula hovering over the grill. "I saw a draft weeks ago, but I thought it was just talk. Is it serious?" "Not official yet," she said, "but she's got the treasurer, Greg Nolan, and the secretary, Diane Voss, in her pocket. They're meeting next Thursday. Word is she's framing it as protecting the neighborhood, but it's nonsense. No one's trashing the river." I flipped a burger, my jaw tightening. "That pass, why half of us live here. She can't just take it away." "She'll try," Lisa warned. "She's obsessed with control. Claims it's about outsiders, but I think she just hates seeing people enjoy themselves." I glanced around at the smiling faces, Tom swapping fishing stories, the Henderson kids tossing a frisbee. The river was our glue. "We'll fight it," I said. "Let's rally everyone for that meeting." That night, after the last guest left, I sat on my porch, staring at the stars. I'd never been one for neighborhood politics. Me battles were fought on the water, not in meeting rooms. But Evelyn's crusade lit a fire in me. I wouldn't let her steal this haven. The HOA meeting was a powder keg. The clubhouse overflowed with residents, folding chairs creaking under the weight of anticipation. Evelyn sat at the front table, flanked by Greg and Diane, her leather binder open like a battle plan. The president, Clara Bennett, a soft-spoken woman in her 60s, looked exhausted, her authority Sibley fraying. Evelyn tapped her gavel. "Order, please. Tonight, we address the river access issue. Due to ongoing concerns litter, noise, trespassing, I propose a due law 15 launch fee, hours restricted to noon to 5 p.m., and a permit system for guests." The room erupted. "That's insane," shouted Tom. "I fish at dawn," a young dad chimed in. "My kids can't even swim after school with those hours." Evelyn's gaze remained steely. "These measures ensure safety and exclusive VY tie. An uncontrolled riverfront lowers property values." Clara opened the floor for comments, and I joined the line at the mic. When my turn came, I stepped forward, heart pounding. "I'm Ethan Carver. I moved here for the river. It's our community's soul. Fees and restrictions punish us for enjoying what's ours. I kayak at dawn, and I've never seen litter or trouble. This isn't about safety, it's about control." Evelyn's eyes narrowed. "Mr. Carver, your early paddling disrupts the peace. We can't have unrestricted access in VY chaos." "Disrupts?" I shot back. "Neighbors wave at me every morning. I'm an Olympic kayaker. I train quietly and keep the shore clean. You've got no EVY denke of chaos." Her face tightened, but she recovered fast. "Olympic or not, rules apply. We'll vote next meeting." The crowd booed, but she banged her gavel, ending the debate. Clara tried to mediate, but Evelyn's allies nodded in lockstep. As I left, neighbors clapped my shoulder, urging me to keep pushing. I knew then, this was war. Days later, the situation exploded. I jogged to the river at sunrise, paddle in hand, only to find the access gate chained shut, a padlock glinting in the light. A sign read, "Saw closed by order of the Willow Creek Haven HOA Vice President for Maintenance and Re-VYEW. No entry until further notice. Violators face fines." Saw my stomach dropped. A handful of stunned neighbors gathered, muttering in disbelief. "She didn't even wait for a vote," Tom growled. "This is dictator stuff." I rattled the chain. "We need Clara. This can't stand." Then Evelyn's SUV rolled up. She stepped out, sunglasses perched on her nose, a smirk tugging at her lips. "Problem, Mr. Carver. This is illegal," I said, voice steady despite my rage. "No vote, no noticity locked us out of our own property." "I have board support," she replied coolly. "Clara's unavailable family emergency." I took executive action to secure the area. "Apply for a permit if you want in." "You're out of bounds," I snapped. "We'll fight this." "Try," she said, climbing back into her vehicle. "The lock stays." As she drove off, the crowd seethed. That night, the forum lit up with fury, people vowing to resist, others fearing fines. I hosted an emergency meeting at my place. 15 neighbors crammed into my Lee-Vying room, voices overlapping with plans. A paralegal named Rachel outlined the bylaws. "Evelyn can't do this without a vote and Clara's signature. It's a power grab. What if we go public?" I said. "I've got sports contact journalists, followers. If we shine a light on this, she might buckle." Tom nodded. "Local news first. If that flops, go big." We split tasks. Rachel drafted a legal threat. Lisa rallied signatures. I called a reporter friend. The next day, a crew from Channel 7 filmed the locked gate and interviewed us. I stood by the chain, the camera rolling. "This isn't just my fight," I said. "It's every resident's. The river's ours, and one person's trying to take it away under false pretenses." The segment aired that night, sparking outrage. My phone buzzed with support neighbors, strangers, even a county official promising to investigate. But Evelyn hit back. A DULA 300 fine landed on my doorstep for inciting unrest, citing my TV appearance. Furious, I decided to escalate. I posted on my verified social media, "Saw Olympic kayaker locked out of my neighborhood river by an HOA tyrant. This isn't about safety, it's about power." The Free Willow River saw with photos of the padlock. It blew up tens of thousands of shares, comments flooding in, the hashtag trending. National outlets picked it up, silver medalist versus HOA villain. Sports blogs ran headlines. A cable news show booked me for a live segment. I Skyped in, laying out the saga. "This is bigger than me," I told the host. "It's about fairness. HOAs can't bully people out of public spaces." The clip went viral, piling pressure on Evelyn. She retaliated with a cease and desist letter, claiming defamation, but Rachel laughed it off. "It's toothless. You're in the clear." Then came the breakthrough. Rachel tracked down Clara, who'd been sidelined by a hip surgery. On speakerphone, she gasped. Evelyn said it was minor upkeep. I didn't approve locks or guards. She promised an emergency meeting. 3 days later, the clubhouse was packed again. Clara, leaning on a cane, took charge. Evelyn acted without authority. "This ends now." Evelyn tried to defend herself. "Trash, trespassers," but Clara cut her off. "No proof, no vote." Motion to unlock the gate. It passed 3-1, Evelyn fuming as cheers erupted. The next morning, Clara snipped the chain herself, cameras flashing. The river was ours again. But Evelyn wasn't done. Petty fines hit dissenters me, welcome, sign earned me, adieu, law 150 citation. Neighbors fought back, documenting every move, pushing for her recall. Signatures poured in, and at the next meeting, the vote was overwhelming, 92-8. Evelyn stormed out, defeated. She sold her house a month later, vanishing from Willow Creek. A year on, the neighborhood thrives. River Fest today of kayaking, picnics, and music celebrates our VY Tory. I paddle at dawn, teach kids to stroke, and smile at the unity we forged. The river flows free, a testament to what happens when a community stands together against a tyrant. And me? I'm just Ethan, the kayaker who found a home and fought to keep it whole. If you were the one in this story, how would you react? Would you stand up and fight back, or accept the unreasonable pressure and control from the HOA? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with more people. Your small action gives us the motivation to keep bringing you more intense and engaging stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.